All right, I'm back with a code stream. So I'm going to work on phpstan-drupal. I actually haven't worked on this in about 3 weeks, if not more, and I just did that merge on my phone. So I'm going to do some maintenance on this this package to kind of tidy it up and keep things up to base. So one thing I'm going to do first is just check that the scheduled tests are still passing. So that's good to know. And I'm going to pick up this first pull request about separating core and contrib API files. The goal here is to be able to check deprecated API files or check deprecated hooks inside .api files. We had this, we had to turn it off due to issues that were happening with bad coding contrib. So the fix is to scan core because core API files can be trusted but not contrib. And this was almost done. I'm just going to review it and get it over the edge. So we have bleeding edge. This is false. Oh yeah, so this is the existing flag. We're going to deprecate it. And I actually don't know how we'll mark it as deprecated. So what I'll do is I'm going to look at phpstan source actually and see if there is a way for handling deprecated config in their schema. So let's go to conf and parameter schema. So I don't think it's in here. I believe it's actually at runtime. That's in there. So let's go to source, rules, under debug. No, I don't think it's going to be under there. Nope. Under API. Nope. So I'm fairly certain there's a way to deprecate config code, but I don't know where it would happen. Let's actually try to do a better search in the actual local code base. So phpstan. Let's go into the var. Oh, phpstan. It doesn't want to. phpstorm doesn't want to actually expand the var. So let's do this. Let's do. Why is it excluded? Second mark directory as excluded, and let's remove it. Cancel exclusion. Cancel the exclusion. Exclude var from project. Include the var. I might have to just restart. Oh, never mind. There it is. Okay, cool. So excluding it, then unexcluding it allowed me to expand the source in here. So let's just look at the source. Inside source, I'm going to do a search for deprecated and just see if anything can be found. So that's in the analyzer. It's in the scope. Let's see, dependency injection. Let's expand this. I feel like it might be in there. Nope, in their configurator. That's not it. PHP doc tag, reflection rules, properties, type PHP rules, attributes check. No. So that's in PHP doc rules, comments. So maybe there isn't a way to deprecate configuration after all. So, shoot. I really thought there was a way to do this, but if not, whatever. That's fine. So we can deal with that another time. So this check deprecated hooks and API files is deprecated. So I set the false. If you're in bleeding edge, we're going to turn both to true. This scan contrib, and then you can choose to opt out. And then in the neon, by default, we have everything to false. Set as Boolean. So let's say this is reviewed. The autoloader now takes these two arguments. So triggered. Oh, there it is. Trigger deprecation. So if you have it set, maybe that's what they have going on inside phpstan. I'm curious just to see how, if possible. Let's see if there's a trigger error anywhere in the code for phpstan. Trigger error is deprecated and will be removed. So if it is set, I need to check out this PR. So what is this? 774. Use PHP Storm to actually check it out. Let's see, it's this right here. So let's check out and open the autoloader. Open the file. That's line 131. Okay, so if is set. Let's see. I think this is fine. Yeah, we should wrap is if let's just wrap this if is set and default it to false. I don't really know. Let's see the bleeding edge. Yeah, so that turns them on. But then inside the actual extension, they're set to false. So we shouldn't need that, but let's just reply here. We don't need the set. We can remove this when it is removed from extension .neon and the schema. All right, so we can just leave that in. This is going to be fine. Can I resolve this from here? I'm just going to resolve the comment. So we'll keep that in. This check deprecated hooks and files will be defined here. And that's the baseline. So if either of these are false, but that's true, it defaults to turning them on. That's the expected behavior that we want. Let's move to the next. Let's see, review mode. Show only unresolved comments. So next one, like check core files. Yep, if starts with core and file exists. It's false. This load extension, if path begins with core slash and file exists. That's a lot. I don't think that costs less because it's a disk operation. Um, if extension starts with get path, so we need to check if the path. Wait. Well, here's the thing. Module directory is Drupal root extension get path. I feel like we could do if string contains. So 1 second. Let's do. I'm gonna do a. Do we have a test for this? No, we don't. Let's put a breakpoint here, and I'm gonna go to my tests and Drupal auto loading test. I'm just gonna run one of these with the debugger just to see what's going on. I think we can please go through. It's been a while since I've worked on this. We should just be able to do like if string contains /core instead of having to get the path again. But I'm hoping I can just get a breakpoint in the autoloader. All right, here we go. Drupal root. Let's play past this part. Great, here we are. So the extension type module. So you can see here path name begins with core. Origin. There we go. That's what I was hoping with is origin. Now, origin is not documented. That's great. Cool. Core. So that gets set by module data is through the discovery. So let's look at the extension discovery. Origin waits. Origin. So, okay. File origin. It gets set somehow. Origin equals directory. So let's try this instead. So we can say if and extension origin equal to core. And undo. If it's not equal to core. I feel like this can be improved even further where we do the question is like, do we want to do a file exists checks? I think that's fine. Because we could do the file exists check first. But this, if they're disabled, that avoids doing any extra like disk checking, which can be a performance enhancement. Maybe it's not a big deal. But we'll leave it this way. Okay. So let's do this. I'm going to do the debugger once more. And I want to run through and see if it catches anything that's not in. Anything that's in the contrib. So this is all checked at core, check contrib. Actually, let's put a stop here and make the condition. Okay, so what extension do we have? Container not initialized. Cool. All right, I think we're good to go. Let's press play. And that's it for the changes. So I'll go ahead and I really hope that never goes away at origin, but this is our fork of the extension system and extension discovery, so we should be set. Let's make a commit here. Check extension origin. Let's do commit and then a push. What I wanted to do, I forgot, is to check what that value actually was for the origin. I think it's going to say contrib because it's whatever directory it was found in. But let's just double check. All right, let's refresh. And I'm going to go ahead and improve this. All right, so the extension, what does it say the origin is? Blank. All right, well, that's interesting. Whatever. I thought it was going to be set to the directory, but let's just see. Origin is supposed to equal the directory. Directory prefix. All right, well, it seems to work that way. And we'll wait for the test results to come back, and then we'll merge this, and this will help catch some errors folks have been hitting with the Drupal 11 upgrade. Let's see what else we can look at in the meantime. So the date range and comment field types and ignore deprecations. All right, let's look at these. So subs for date range, this has some issues. It's date time item expense date. Wait, is this up to date? Nope, this has conflicts. So there's issues here where you can't undo properties and things extend. It extends classes kind of goofy, so it's extending property types. So I'm going to skip that for now. Let's update this branch to see the results, and let's review it. So this just need to make sure it matches. So let's go look at. Well, that's still going. I'm going to go look at the comment item class. Fixtures, Drupal, core, modules, comment, source, plugin, field type, comment item. So the idea is that all the properties will be put into, or all the properties here are available in the PHP doc. So status is an integer, comment status. It's really just a boolean. No, I don't know. Oh, default mode. Maybe that's why. It's a status. CID is integer. As timestamp is integer. Comment name. It's a string. As comment you are missing that. And comment missing. As. Just add as a suggestion. So this last comment's UUID. And those are all dynamically fetched. Like how? There's no. Oh, they must get populated elsewhere. So we will comment that. Then commit the suggestion. So 8.3 and 11.x is failing. I believe that's been going on for a while now in PHP unit. Okay. We can come back to that. Just I'm curious to see what the baseline result will be for this test. So I'm going to wait for that. If that's good to go, then we'll merge. Wait to see what happens on this comment stub. PHP Unit 10. Oh, there's a whole bunch of errors because of PHP Unit 10 and PHP Unit 9. And this got all kinds of changes adjusted to it. So I need to revert them. Yeah, so I'm going to have to just redo this whole PR. This would include exclusion of the new class to match is now deprecated. Now deprecate installer existing config base. We can say that fixes that issue. It will not. We'll just update this branch. I think this works just fine. There's just a new class. Installer existing config test base is going to be deprecated because there's this new config directory test base. I guess it's replacing it. Let's read that in full, actually. Change notice. Okay. Great. So this should be good to go. Fix type error in deprecated message. If is array is set deprecated message, I'd like to just have a test for this, but wait. Hold on. So if is array deprecated message deprecated equals string replace service ID deprecated. If is set alias, I'm not sure how to even test this. Update hook registry factory. Let's look for this. It should show up in here somewhere. Yeah, so that's not an error. I want to know where the service ID is deprecated. Yeah, so that replacement is great. But where does anything use the deprecated message? I'm going to guess in their example they have SDC. So let's look at the modules SDC. There it is. That's why. Okay. We'll go ahead and just merge this. Took a minute to see it was SDC implementing this verbose format. All right. So there we go. That should fix errors now when people were scanning and SDC was running or enabled. That probably was a really big issue that should have been flagged earlier. Okay, we've got errors abound in here. So let's look at this baseline. Why did the baseline fail? Daytime item. That's fine. Drupal core hasn't released an update. I haven't made a release, so it hasn't updated to fix that. So let's go ahead and squash and merge. call this, let's fix separate core and contrib API file scanning. API.php file scanning. Squash and merge. All right, so that'll be another item fixed. Stubs for comment. Again, 11.x is failing. We'll see what the core baseline returns. And same for this one. Then we'll PHP unit 10, we're moving away from group legacy. We use ignore deprecations. Blah, blah, blah is proposing that upstream. That should go to PHP unit, which is true. So ignore deprecated scope. Ignore deprecations. Scope is in class. It's just it made all these changes to composer.json. And I think we can do this without it crashing. But maybe because it's the problem is that the test won't run until we have PHP unit 10. PHP unit 10 we should step away. Gap fill limiting jobs because they run with PHP unit 9, only PHP unit 10. That's fine. I'm curious if Drupal core is using PHP unit 10 yet for anything. We should be testing 11.x.dev, which is the same as main. So let's look at PHP unit, required dev, 10. Okay, so it can be caught with that, with, what do you want to call it? The 11.x branch. So we can do like an if class exists check and skip the test. Also, it looks like merging this test will fix the 11.x error because that class is now, it's now ignoring that class when checking the default theme. So I'm going to go ahead and merge this because I think it'll be just fine. Should have renamed that to something far better. Add to browser test based default theme rule exclusion. Not going to fix the commit message, but I can fix up the release notes with that at least. And stubs. And then we can focus on this ignore deprecations fix. It's almost done. So let's go ahead and check out main. Update it. I'm going to click update branch in this PR. And let's check out the PR. We're going to see it in here. No, we're not. Let's go to the pull requests. Check this out again. The whole date time thing. Yep, because we got to do a release. So let's squash that. Hey, thanks for joining in. Just saw the chat. All right. So the subs have been added. Now we can just focus on this deprecated, this ignore deprecation trait. Reviewing this now. If the issue is in the test, we just skip the test unless the class is available. checking out this. All right, I'm going to step away quick for the ad break. All right, I'm back. Use that as a chance to get some water break. And had surgery last Monday. So yeah, it's been a week ago and my neck's a little stiff still. So use it as a chance to give my neck a break and get some water. So let's work on this PR. So let's open this PR and let's check it out locally. And first up I want to do is undo the changes to the workflows in composer.json. So let's, and the phpUnit.yaml. So let's see how easily I can do that. But I just got the pinwheel of death. All right. So let's see here. I believe if I were to go to phpUnit.xml, it's going to say that all this has changed. So review as a diff. I was hoping there'd be an easy way to revert it. Split. Unified. Jump to source. So I don't want to update this quite yet. I want to match the lower of Drupal core because that's what we're a little bit bound to. I was really hoping jump to source, show diff in a new tab. Okay. Right click on the file in the sidebar, show history. All right. So if I were to actually go into, yeah, okay, I see what you mean. So if I go into PHP unit and then go to Git and I show history, it's going to let me undo the change here. And that's going to show me that which if this is commit here, I can then do a cherry pick would copy it out, revert the commit. I don't want to revert the commit, but let's cherry pick. I know there's a way that you can do the diff and it updates the file without committing. Or at least I thought you could do that. That's what I was hoping to do, is just instead of reverting random commits, I was hoping to just get the diff or get the item to show up and stage the change locally. But all change has been applied. Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay. I was really hoping I could just, I thought there was a way to revert without actually like literally doing a revert in the git log. So yeah, so that says that reverts it, whatever. It's no big deal. As long as I do it piece by piece. Got it. Since it's already committed and from a remote, it's not locally. Yeah, I thought there was like a little UI, but you're right. Maybe in that case, like I've committed it locally and, or who knows what I've done. I could be hallucinating it as well. So we need to revert the workflows. So let's look at the PHP. What changes were done here? Let's do a, we'll just go through that again. Show history. Fix, fix, fix. So we're going to revert those commits. So here's we don't want to do that. Close. Shoot. Get revert. That's what I was hoping to just do, like the inline. But here's what we can do. This is easy enough. I can just copy the diff and manually put it back in. Like, it's not a big deal. I just thought I'd have a nice little like gutter arrows to click that would rearrange things. Add in 8.3. Okay, that should be added. Okay, that's possible not only on a remote. Great, thanks. So I'm not completely losing it. It is possible, but only in that case. Cool. It's good to know. Thank you. So phpstan-dev bump to 8.3. Yep, that's fine. PHP unit, no coverage. Which we'll just add that back. Actually, I don't think this is required anymore. Wait, hold on. Well, that's a whole different thing. I'll worry about that later. And this can stay at 8.1. So we're going to keep compatibility with 8.1 on dev. So I think that puts the workflows back. Let's put composer.json back. What is this? Lock that yet? Oh, this is a workflow that I never committed properly. So let's do 8.1. YAML and Finder. Let's put that back to the widespread. I think we can actually drop 4 now. Put these back. PHP unit back. And probably drop 8 as well. And then this is where it will probably break because PHP unit bridge, I don't know if it supports 7 yet, but we'll find out when I put these back in. What else has changed? That's all that was changed there. So let's commit this as revert changes to workflows and composer.json. Let's commit it. Let's push it, and we'll see how everything wonderfully breaks. Actually, I know how it will wonderfully break. So 5 files changed. So it adds 8.3. Perfect. That's fine, really. We were only running it with 11.x. That's okay to edit for everything. This is our test. Shift Command O. Getting that back. Why is it so high up on the page? Let's resize this. All right, let's run the test, and it's gonna explode. Because the class doesn't exist, and it didn't. Okay. So wait a second. Why didn't it crash? Okay. Because it's not found. in ignoring. So let's go to that class. We got to say if not class exists, turn false. So now if I were to do php vendor bin php stand var, it's not going to error out. And this should fix it. So like php stand at least works this way. Like if you do a class exist before trying to use the class, it doesn't error out, not existing. Or at least it shouldn't. So we'll find out really quick if I'm right or wrong. Somewhat quick. No errors. All right, get diff a b use class exists for checking attribute class. So let's push that via PHP Storm. Swear I bounce back and forth between command line get and the PHP Storm UI way too much. But before, when checking out branches from pull requests, PHP Storm didn't push properly. But I think that's because I would use the GitHub command line tool to do a pull request checkout and push from PHP Storm, and that would break. But I actually checked out via PHP Storm, so the remotes are fine. I don't know. I always bounce back and forth, just because PHP Storm runs commit checks, and sometimes I want them, sometimes I don't. And I should just disable them, but I don't always do that. All right, so the linting passed an 8.3. But again, this is going to be using PHP Unit 9. So only will the 8.3 test verify it's working. And I mean, actually, this was still passing without the class, because it doesn't matter if it exists or not. Like, that's not what it's checking. It's still using the this test doesn't care if the class actually exists or not in the code. It just is checking the symbols. And oh, okay. Never mind. That passed the first time I ran it, but not the second time. Oh, because I added that if class exists check. So we have to do once we have to do errors equal. We have to do if class exists. This should be good though, because that means we'll have 8.1 through 8.3 for Drupal 10 should fail, so should Drupal 9, but Drupal 11.x should pass. So I guess that's good. Like, our CI is going to tell us if this is working or not. Let's go to not the test, but you know what? Actually, we will go here. Copy this use statement. So if the class doesn't exist, errors equal else. Let's say errors when I ran it. it said that there were errors on 12 and 25. Ooh. So line 12, 25. Let's rerun the test. And yep, there we go. So 11.x passed, and this failed because of the same error we had, and now this is passing. So let's get diff. You know what? I'm just going to do it back in here. Command K, add conditional logic and test assertion. Commit push. Three warnings. Yeah, that's fine. Commit anyway and push. And now this should hopefully pass. Solution was to add a class exists check in the rule and conditionals and the test. All right, so this is good to go. Then I'm going to take a release and probably call it because I've been at the computer all day and my neck hurts. But it's been a while since there was some updates to this project, especially as people are doing Drupal 11 upgrades. So I wanted to get some maintenance in. Just want to get these checks reviewed. And then it'd be great to get that pushed in the phpstan PHP unit. But that will be for another day. It's going. I guess I'll just do some quick triage of the pull requests. We have this one going. This needs to get refixed. I don't think this is even working. It's supposed to do a tweet every time that I merge or make a release, but I have the API key set. It's still not working. I'm going to callback rule, check if it exists. Super type. This was breaking in core. All right. Lots of things to do. This one needs to get picked up. This mixin. This looked really cool. But the problem is that it would promote invalid stat or method names, so we can't use a mixin. This is a really neat issue about bubbling schema. Bubbling schema from Drupal into the dynamic results, like parameter bags. Oh, actually here, like if core would do this, like get as certain things. It's not just because of the API change. Like supposedly for this use case, it should work. Like I know phpstan has this working. That's actually where I copied it from. I'm fairly certain if we go here, it's somewhere. Maybe not. Or it used to be. Merge, issue bot, create tag. Huh. Well, I thought this used to do. Oh, this is phpstan source. Sorry. I'm so used to looking at phpstan source instead of the main repo. Oh, which I need to bump the dev version that we're tracking. So release tweet. I copied this and it's fine, but I have a feeling I just copied the wrong consumer keys and tokens. So one day I'll fix that. Um, so there's those. This is a nightmare. Support deprecating preprocessed variables. Adding error identifiers to phpstan-drupal rules. That would be great to do. So phpstan has error identifiers, and none of the custom rules inside phpstan provide them. So if we look at rules, Drupal entity query access check rule. What is it like? In here we could do. So there's the message. Let's see if this loads. Line, file, error types. Type file, description, type ident. Oh, so file line, tip, add tip, tip identifier. So I could do like identifier is entity query access check. Must match. Oh, hold on. Pattern identifier. Oh, that should be fine. So instead of ignoring or having an error message that tracks this entire text, you could then just track this error identifier instead. So that way you're not reliant on the text, you're reliant on just this string, which is great if this is dynamic at all. So that would be a good one to work on one day. Let's see where this PR left off at. All right, it's doing a baseline check. This should be good to go. I'm not going to wait for it. It's allowed to fail anyways. I'm going to do a squash and merge. And we'll send it. All right. One day I'll come back and I'll actually close issues. I am really bad at that. I don't close issues, but I think they're worth holding on to just in case. I always hate coming across an issue that's closed and locked, and it's like, I would love to work on this or use it, and then you have to create a new issue, and I just don't at that point. So let's go ahead. I'll just call this 1.2.12. Publish. Just generate the release notes. I started changing these to be a little bit more formatted. Purely in anything that's internal. All right, let's see. It says an ad is about to start. I'm going to snooze it for 5 minutes since I'll be signing off by the time I do this release. So, yeah, look at all those new contributors. All right, so let's find what's internal. I think this is probably yeah. So those are internal items. Add stubs, fix type errors. Separate core. Oh, look, it actually fixed. I didn't fix the commit, but it fixed the change note based off the PR. Add stubs, dot bump. Let's change. Let's see. I should. New bleeding edge toggles for checking deprecated hooks. Crap, we didn't update the README for it, but that's fine. Fixes. Let's do Use the following to check your code for usage of deprecated hooks in Drupal core. I think Neon is supported. Use the following to also check for usage of deprecated hooks and contributed modules. May break if they have malformed api.php files. And then I'll probably write a blog post about this next week. The previous toggle is deprecated. I think that's good enough. Create a discussion and publish. All right, there we go. I'm gonna go ice up and relax. And that was thanks for tuning in for this maintenance stream as I worked on phpstan-drupal. I'll catch you next time. Hopefully next week. Actually, no, next week I want to try to do 2 p.m. Central again to work on simplytest.me and adding Drupal 11 there and fixing some bugs. So that's my plan, is this time next week to be working on simplytest.me live. So thanks for tuning in.